Hello, everybody. What's up? What's going on? And welcome to the 71st episode of Raptors in One. Guys, today I want to be talking about the Raptors away games that we're going to have, the 7 games on the road. So far, we've already played 2 of the 7, and we're at a 50% win record. So our first game at the road, it was against Sacramento. We won against Sacramento. It was a good game from start to finish. Everybody who needed to contribute contributed. Everybody played their roles. It was a complete game. And here I was thinking, great, we are now showing what this squad with these players is truly capable of. And I figured, you know what? Against a Sacramento team that has the best record or one of the best records in the league at home, and we beat them at their home, I'm thinking, wow, that's a good way to start this road trip. Yeah, and then we faced against the Golden State Warriors, and Chef Curry cooked us, man. I mean, it's Steph, one of the greatest shooters of all time. I honestly thought the Raptors could have won that game, and I really think that they should have won that game. Yes, we did have a scary moment with OG. If you guys didn't watch that game, I can recommend you to watch that game. Or if you just want to watch that scary moment with OG, you can check it out on Twitter or even on YouTube. You can just search for the highlights for that game, because that was a scary moment even for myself. Because I feel like OG has so much potential when he is healthy. And for him to go down again, and the way he went down, I was almost like, man, this guy just cannot catch a break. Just when he starts to, showcase what he's truly capable of, he goes down. And the way he went down and what he was complaining about, he was complaining about his wrist being hurt. But the way he went down and the way his hand was kind of twisted, I was thinking, man, that must have been a shoulder. Maybe he dislocated his shoulder, or maybe it was his elbow. I don't know. But the last thing in my mind was that wrist. But for whatever reason, it was the wrist. He has had a wrist injury before, which did keep him on the sidelines for about a quarter of a season. But again, I've already checked out the reports, and it seems like this is just like the reports have come negative. That's a good sign. We're gonna have to see what happens today. Maybe we get a little bit more of an update. Me, honestly, that fall was scary, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, the X-rays came negative today, which means big. It's big for us. I gotta say though, maybe he stays out until the All-Star break. Worst case scenario, he stays out till the All-Star break. Best case scenario, I would say he comes back after this road trip, or sometime close to the end of this road trip. So anyway, we lost him. He only played 10 minutes, and he didn't have a very good game, obviously, because of that. And he scored a point. He scored that one free throw after the injury. So, but apart from that, Freddie and Scotty, they had some monster games, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough, because Pascal, he struggled against Golden State. But if you look at the stat line, you can tell that, yes, he struggled. And even during the game, if you were watching it, you could tell he was struggling to get his offense. And that was kind of bleeding into his defensive aspect of the game. But if him struggling means he's still scoring 20 plus points, that's got to tell you, he can figure it out. And he still had, his assists and boards almost being the same. So you can tell, we can give him this one. We'll give him this one. Unfortunately, we're at that point in the season where we can't afford to give, whether it's Pascal or whether it's Jeff Doughton Jr., right? We cannot afford to give enough games, because it's major decision time. And we all know that Raptors right now, with this trade deadline coming up soon, we're the hot topic of the league. Not just amongst the executives, but amongst the players, amongst the fans, in social media. We are the hot topic. What are the Raptors going to do? What is Masai and Bobby going to do? Are they going to break it all up, or are they going to just make some key or just make some few deals here and there. We don't know. It's all the way till the trade deadline. Anything can happen. Before I get into the whole trade deadline situation, I do want to talk about Precious's game now. Precious, ever since he came back, and a lot of people were kind of giving him flack, like they did with Pascal last season. I feel like, what Precious showed us last season, and then how this season started, and then the injury. It's unfortunate for the young man, but you got to give him a break, right? You did that to Pascal, and then Pascal made you eat your words. You all know who you are, who was complaining about Pascal and how he's just an overpriced, Kwame Brown. I remember reading this, somebody who said he was just an overpriced Kwame Brown. Come on, you can't, you're comparing Kwame Brown to Pascal? Anyway, your opinions clearly didn't matter that much. Now, there are people who are giving Precious flack about not performing up to last season's expectations. Well, surely enough, the past 5 or 6 games, he's been killing it. He's back because now he's back into game shape, and he's pretty much almost gotten over his injury too, and now he's gotten back into game shape, game rhythm. He's figuring things out, and now he's become effective. So much so that you might almost consider, hey, if he's back into 100% game shape, he could even start some games. Well, I think Precious, moving forward, he's going to be key either to our bench or to our starting lineup. I like him coming off the bench because we can get more production out of him coming off the bench. And he is, you don't have that much pressure. And then you don't have to figure out how do you play alongside, Scotty, Pascal, OG. You kind of just have to figure out, okay, and it seems like he has great on-court chemistry with Chris Boucher, because, it seems like whenever they both play together, Chris starts to produce a lot more too. So I like Precious coming off the bench. Now, with the trade deadline and this road trip, seems like it's got to be the indicator of how the Raptors can go. Now, does that mean if we crap out on this road trip, that definitely some major moves could be made? Not necessarily. Pascal's untouchable. He's not going. Scotty's obviously untouchable. He's also not going. And to all the people who had doubts about Scotty Barnes, sort of in the beginning / close to maybe 10, 11 games ago, you're eating your words now, aren't you? Because again, Scotty, he's figured it out. He's back to at least season 1 Scotty. And it looks like if a move does happen, that's going to give Scotty even more of an opportunity to take that next step. Again, with the whole roles being changed this season, and that's the main reason why Freddie was complaining as well. Even Scotty's role had changed from last season. And so now he's trying to play within the role, within the concept that the coach is seeing. So he's trying to please the coach, but he's also trying to be productive and trying to win games. Sometimes one of those things take a hit, and it so happened to be that his own stats, his own games took a hit. Now, of course, you also have to realize that Scotty, he has been a little injury prone this season, but it's also, he's been playing through some of the injuries. A lot of people don't notice that. When you notice a healthy Scotty Barnes versus a Scotty Barnes who appears to have gotten over an injury, there's difference in their games. A healthy Scotty Barnes is a lot more reckless and is a lot more physical than a Scotty Barnes who's just getting over injury. So coming back to the whole trade deadline situation, I know I do digress. I feel like Pascal and obviously Scotty, they're untouchable. I would add one more person to that list of untouchables. Unfortunately, I've been hearing a lot of rumblings around, of course, OG Anunoby. It's also because it seems that what the management wants in return is a high price, which does include 3 first-round picks. That's a crazy high price, along with 2 rotational players who can make an impact, something along those lines. So they're not even looking for we'll just get the 3 first-round picks and then 2 whatever players you got. No, they still want players, 2 in fact, who can make an impact to the game and to the lineup right away. Now, if you ask me personally, I don't think you can get a player like OG for a very long time, especially if he's going to be healthy. This OG has already impressed me. He's had a career season, and that's with him being healthy. Can you imagine a younger OG, maybe even like 2 years ago, 3 seasons ago, if he wasn't so injury prone, what kind of a season and what kind of value he would have had? My goodness. We should put OG in the untouchables category. Unfortunately, if OG is also not happy with his role, and if he's looking for a bigger role, I don't think it could happen in any other organization, only because the destinations that he would want to go to, they would have to either be bottom feeder teams with no championship aspirations just yet, basically in rebuilding teams. And again, that can also take a hit on your value. Or if you're looking for a championship, you cannot be the go-to guy. I hate to say it. You're not there just yet. Again, you have to prove yourself. You have to be more durable, and you have to take those next steps. Unfortunately, OG is not that player just yet. He could be like a second option on a championship team at the best. So if he would want, I think Raptors is the best organization and the best possible scenario for a player like OG to even develop into that person that he sees himself as. Now that keeps us with Gary Trent, Freddie VanVleet, and of course Chris Boucher. Now, I wouldn't give up Chris Boucher unless we have to package him up with either Gary or Freddie, which would mean that we would either get a good draft pick for the next draft, along with a decent player. Only then would I be able to, part with Chris. It's funny. It's funny how being involved in trade rumors, and essentially knowing that everybody and nobody is safe on the team, and everybody could be traded at some point, how that incentivizes certain players to now start to perform the way they are. With Gary, you could tell, it seems like even the coach spoke to him and kind of really just motivated him, whether it was in a negative way, like through hey, you're going to start to see lesser minutes, and we possibly are going to trade you off. And it seems like Gary likes it to be here, and he could very well get an extension. So, do I want to get rid of him? I would say I'm 51-49 on getting rid of Gary. 51% on keeping Gary, actually. I want to keep Gary because I do see the potential, and I know that he could be a defensive monster. We could get that Gary from last season back. I wouldn't want to get rid of Gary unless I get a really good package with some good round picks for the next round draft, for the next year's draft, because, yeah, either Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson, we can always dream, right? And then we got Freddie. Freddie's also, his name's been thrown around quite a bit on the trade rumors. Freddie has been open about how he didn't like his role coming off the ball as opposed to controlling the ball a lot more. And now, the biggest tell to me, again, this is just me speculating here, I think Freddie could very well be traded either at the trade deadline or at the end of the season, even before the next season. The biggest tell being he has fired his current manager and he has gone with Rich Paul of Clutch Sports. So he's changed his agents, and yeah, it seems like if I was to speculate here, either it is because he might be hoping to go join LeBron in LA, it's very possible, or he's looking to strong arm Masai and Bobby into a contract extension that would suit him. And Rich Paul has been known to do that. Now you might be thinking, well, even OG and Gary are with Clutch Sports. Yes, but again, Freddie going to Clutch Sports now, there is no, it's not a coincidence. Let's put it that way. he wants a better contract, which means contract negotiations, and you want to have a good agent who's willing to strong arm the opposition, the GM of your team, or he's going to a sunnier destination, teaming up with the GOAT, possibly win a championship. So again, tonight we got Portland, it's back to back. 10 p.m. Man, these 10 p.m. games do take a toll. I can only imagine how it really messes up the players. I mean, myself, I find it hard to kind of stay up on these 10 o'clock games, but I manage. I do, somehow. Yes, I do sleep through some of it, but that's just me getting old. That's all I got for today, folks. Again, if you like the content, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and hit the comment section. Share your views, your opinions, but keep it respectful, of course. And if you like my content, you want to check out some more of my content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I'm out.